1970 Volkswagen Convertible, restoration number 2. Clip 5, gas tank removal, clean and sealing. I ordered a gas tank sealer kit from the Eastwood Company and purchased from a local hardware store some uric acid, 2 quarts of acetone, box of baking soda, and some soap. I started by disconnecting the fuel filter tube and vent tube. The fuel filter tube and vent tube shown disconnected. Next, I disconnected the electrical fuel wire to the sending unit and removed the 5 bolts holding the sending unit in place. Then I removed the fuel gauge sending unit and cleaned it up and stored it in a plastic bag. I siphoned out the remaining gas in the gas tank. With a 13mm socket, I removed the 2 front bolts to the gas tank. Then I removed the 2 rear bolts to the gas tank. I removed the small vent on the right side of the gas tank. I raised the tank and clamped the gas line with vice grip pliers. Then I disconnected the gas line. I will replace this gas line with a new 9-inch section and put clamps on both ends of the gas line. While I'm here, I sprayed penetrating oil on the 2 front body bolts. I removed the tank and flushed it out with a water hose at least twice. I washed the tank out with soap and water at least twice. I poured the Eastwood metal wash container into 2 gallons of hot water. I taped up the tank opening and poured the metal wash mixture into the tank and sloshed it around. I then let the tank set for 5 minutes in each position: bottom, top, left side, and right side. I then rinsed the tank out with a water hose at least twice. I measured out 3 ounces of uric acid and poured it in 60 ounces of water and poured it into the tank and let it set on each side for 5 minutes as I have done previously with the metal wash. I then poured the mixture in a large container and diluted it with baking soda. I then poured the full bottle of fast etch into the tank and rotated the tank to slosh the mixture all over the sides of the tank interior. Then I poured out the contents. While the tank was still wet with fast etch, I poured 1 quart of acetone into the tank and sloshed the mixture all over the sides of the tank interior. I poured this mixture out and repeated the process again with another quart of acetone. Next, I shook up 2 bottles of gas tank sealer and poured both bottles of the sealer into the tank. I rotated the tank slowly, leaving the tank in each of the 4 positions for 10 minutes. I kept slowly rotating the tank to keep it from hardening at any one location. After about 40 minutes, I poured out the excess. I set up a fan that will blow into the tank for the next 48 hours. While waiting on the tank interior to dry and waiting on the floor pan to arrive, I started cleaning the body and the frame area with a wire brush under the gas tank location that I cannot get to when the tank is in place. I also wire brushed the lip area that the gas tank rests on. Then I wire brushed the remainder of the trunk area that I could get to. I disconnected the ground wires and cleaned off the terminal on both sides with steel wool and the ground contact area and replaced the screw. About 4 more hours of effort. Walt, my welder, asked that I make sure the weld area was clean, so I cleaned this area once again and sent him a picture to make sure he was satisfied prior to me painting the area with self-etching weld-through primer. About 2 more hours of effort. A view of the tank looking inside the tank from the sending unit opening. A view looking inside the tank from the filler tube opening. The coating does not appear to be as thick as I was led to believe, but it still looked good, and the tank had to be very clean. Tank had never been cleaned out in 41 years, but it really did not need it that bad. Then I sanded the exterior of the tank, by hand, by sander, and then by hand again. I cleaned the tank with an air hose and wiped it down with acetone. Now it's ready for painting. My grandson, McNeil, painted the top surface with Rust-Oleum primer. I think you're getting the hang of it now. After the top surface dried, we flipped the tank over and painted the bottom surface with Rust-Oleum truck bed liner material. I can't say I was all that happy with this paint. I removed the old paint from the passenger side foot support with paint remover. My grandson McNeil put a coat of primer on the foot support, which goes under the carpet. While the tank was drying, I moved back to the body. I purchased a can of rust encapsulator from the Eastwood Company. I painted the heater channel with this material. I think I had previously removed most of the rust, but I didn't want to take any chances, so I painted the area that the floor pan bolted onto the body with this material. I was careful and did not put any of the material on the area that would be welded. When this area dries, I will put a coat of POR 15 on the same area. When the tank was dry, I put some Teflon tape on the outlet pipe thread of the tank. I purchased a new fuel tank outlet kit, which included a new strainer. And I installed the tank outlet kit to the tank. I purchased a new 5mm fuel line and installed it with clamps on both ends of the fuel line. And finished installing the tank. When I paint the trunk area, I would paint the tank gloss black so it would match the original. About 6 more hours of work. Total restoration time so far is 44 hours. Stay tuned for progress reports.